Hi, welcome to Caribou Country Lifestyle. My name is Cheryl. Today I'm going to be planting some tomatoes. I already have planted some flowers in this tray, so I've planted some zinnias, a couple of different types of zinnias, and then I also have a trailing lobelia and another trailing lobelia as well. But I've done some little 2-inch by 2-inch cells, and I'm just going to be sprinkling tomato seeds into each of these of which variety. Today I'm doing 14 different varieties of tomato seeds. Usually I do 21, but I'm canceling out some of my varieties of cherry tomatoes, and I'm just going to be doing one variety of cherry tomato this year, and that is going to be the Sun Gold. So starting off is going to be the Sun Gold cherry tomato. I'm just going to do half the seeds that I have, and I'm just putting them over the top of the dirt, and then I will just add some soil. So I'm just putting in 5 seeds. I had 9, and I will keep the rest for next year, but I will also be saving some of my Sun Gold tomato seeds. My next one is going to be the Black Rim, and this one is a large slicer tomato. I have exactly 5 seeds for that one, so I will do the 5 seeds. And then once they get started, I will separate the plants and pot them up in their own individual cell. So that's it for the Black Crim. Next is the Old German tomato. This is one of my absolutely favorites. I still have quite a few of these, so I think I'm going to do 6 of the Old German. It is another large slicer tomato, and I start 6, but I'm only keeping 2 for myself to plant, and then I give the other ones away. And next is the Carnival Blend, which is from the Brandywine family. Again, another large slicer. Never gives up. It's a pretty, it's a good producing tomato as well. It's like a beefsteak, a very large tomato. Amish paste. I love the Amish paste. And I will do 6 of these. I think that's going to be my number for all of them. In the past, I've just put a bunch of seeds in and then I split them up. One year I had over 100 plants, and that's just way too much. I don't need that many. I don't use that many. I've sold a few, but on the most part, I've given them away. New girl. I have, depending how many I have here, maybe I'll just do 5. And I'll leave the other 4 for next year. The New Girl are a medium-sized slicer. My next one, another one of my favorites, is the Aunt Ruby German Green. It's a large beefsteak tomato as well. But last year, well, actually none of my tomatoes did very good as far as ripening on the vine last year. We had such a cold spring, and even the beginning of summer was cold, and I think it kind of set my tomatoes back, and they definitely did not ripen on the vines not like the way they did the year before. Oh my gosh, these Aunt Ruby's German green, they were magnificent. They were big, they were beautiful, and lots of them. They were ripening on the vines like crazy. It was pretty amazing. Once I'm done the new girl, I won't be growing them anymore. Okay, my next, and this was new to me last year. My sister gave me some of these seeds, and this is the cream sausage. So it's like aroma, but it's a pale yellow color. Very, very delicious, great flavor to it. I ended up, because I liked it so much, she gave me, I don't know, 4 or 6 seeds. And then I took one of the tomatoes and I ended up saving the seeds from them. So I will definitely be doing 6 of these. I gave one to my sister-in-law and I gave one to my friend, and they both said that they absolutely loved the cream sausage and would definitely like me to do that again. So hence why I ended up saving the seeds from this one. It was definitely a keeper. So, and I have quite a few. I mean, this was just from one tomato, and I probably have at least 50 seeds in this little packet. Next one is my mystery tomato, where I ended up getting the tomato from a friend, and it is aroma. So I don't think I really need to call it the mystery tomato. It's just that it's aroma, and I don't really have a name for it. So I could call it the mystery Roma. But it was a really good producer, and I love Roma tomatoes. They don't have a lot of seeds in them, so, which is great. And the Romas are more of a, like the paste tomato. They're more of a meaty tomato. Okay, my next one is the Celebrity. I bought the Celebrity because I wanted a few more bush style tomatoes. And these tomatoes, I'm probably only going to have a couple of tomatoes on my deck, but mostly I'm going to be growing these out in the garden. So I still have quite a few seeds. Would I buy this again? I have too many other favorites that this one doesn't really stand out to me, that I have to have tomato. Okay, the Manitoba. I've had great success with Manitoba, but they are another bush tomato, and they're a small or a medium-sized slicer tomato. I have had great success growing a Manitoba tomato, but not in pots on my deck. Another paste tomato, the San Marzano. I haven't really decided whether I'm a big fan of San Marzanos, because again, like the Manitoba, I've been trying to grow them on my deck and they haven't really produced a whole heck of a lot, so it's hard to say whether I like them or not. My sister tells me she's not a fan of them, so I just keep trying until I get a success rate out of it, and then I decide from there whether or not I will continue to grow those. This next tomato is a new tomato that I got through M.I. Gardener, and it is the Valencia tomato. So it's an kind of a yellowy orange tomato. I'm just going to show you the picture. And the reason why I'm getting this tomato, or why I got this tomato, was because it is one that is low acid, doesn't have a lot of seeds in it, and to me that's become quite important. I have diverticulosis, I have a small hiatica hernia, I have acid reflux. So I'm kind of steering away from a lot of the tomatoes that have more seeds in them. My last one here is the ox heart. I have grown ox hearts for the last handful of years, and for whatever reason, I didn't save the seeds from my ox hearts the year before last, and I wasn't able to get any, or I don't know if I just thought I had some and then I ended up not really having any. So I ended up picking some up, and these I picked up at Early's in Saskatchewan. So I was happy to get these again. These are another wonderful tomato. They're quite large. They're a paste tomato, but they are in the shape of a heart. I'll just show you that one. And that's become a favorite of mine as well. So I was super happy to get the seeds. And then I'm going to just grab a little bit of my starter mix soil, and I will just sprinkle them over the top. Tomatoes usually only take about a week before they start to sprout, so these do not take long to get started. I will be putting these on a heat mat. Sprinkle it just over the top, just enough to cover the seeds. And I also have started quite a few flower seeds. I just want to apologize that I haven't put out a video in the last 2 weeks because we were gone on holidays. It is spring break for the schools, and I do work at the schools. I'm an educational assistant. I help with kids with different disabilities, and also maybe they have some type of a learning disability in the classes, and I support the kids in the schools. So we had 2 weeks off. We're almost at the tail end of our 2 weeks off. So the first week of spring break, my husband and I, we ended up going to the island, and we stayed with some friends in Ladysmith, and then we went to Tofino. We've never been to Tofino before, but my husband's physiotherapist was saying that, go check out Tofino. March is a great time for storm watching. So we went there stayed in Ladysmith for 3 nights. Then we went to Tofino for 3 nights. Then we came back to Vancouver, and we stayed in Vancouver for 2 nights because my husband's aunt and uncle were having their 50th anniversary. Now I'm going to be going to be doing some flowers. These flowers, the reason why I have left these ones to show you what I'm doing with them is because they actually need certain conditions to be able to start these. These are a Phlox flower, and I really think these ones are super cute. I like the little white star in the center of them. A small little dent, because I don't need to cover them hardly at all. And this variety that I just showed you, that is the Twinkle Star mix, so that's why it has the little white star in the center of them. And then I have another variety which is called the Dwarf Beauty Mix. So we'll do the Twinkle Star mix first, and I'm just going to be grabbing 2 seeds and putting them in each little divot for the Twinkle Star mix. I'm doing more of the Twinkle Star mix than I am of the Beauty. I can only fit so many of these 3 by 6 cells in this tray, because with these, I actually have to have them in total darkness. So I have another tray that I'm going to be putting over top of these, which is the same size as this tray. And that was one of the reasons why I picked, which means I can't fit as many of these cells in this tray. And I don't really need a ton of, oh, you would not believe the amount of flower seeds that I have been started in the last few days. And the only reason I didn't show you a video on doing those, because they didn't need any specific conditions. So I'll just kind of push the soil lightly over these seeds. I already have a tag made up. So this one's for the Dwarf Beauty Mix, and this one is for the Twinkle Star Mix. I knew that when I got back from holidays, I was going to be on a planting frenzy, trying to get everything started, because we are at the 8-week mark, and that's why I have been, my 8-week is my busiest planting time, because there are so many flowers, and the vegetables pretty much were just the tomatoes. I didn't really have any other vegetables that I started. I did reseed some of my onions, the red Zeppelin onion. I ended up reseeding that because it was just such a poor germination rate. And then I was talking to my sister, and the seeds that I got for her from West Coast Seeds at Art Knapp in Kamloops, she said, well, none of them germinated. And I'm like, well, that's odd. And then she noticed on the pack that they were actually 2022 seeds. So with onions, especially onion seeds, you want to make sure that you don't plant old onion seeds. But I always thought that West Coast Seeds came and grabbed their old stuff and only provided you with new seeds. So I'm a little confused about that one. Okay, so that's my phlox, and that's all I'm putting in this one. And like I say, I have another tray that's identical to that. And then I just put it over top here. And I don't have to have it on a heat mat. So I have another whole tray set up here. The first set of flowers that I'm going to be doing is the Portulaca. It is really small seeds. But with the Portulaca, you do not cover the seeds. So I'm just taking a pinch, and I'm just liberally spreading the seeds over the top. And I really like Portulaca. It is more of a drought resistant flower, and when it gets hot, they seem to they don't mind the heat, and they can handle the uneven watering in the season. And these I will be putting in my block pavers that I have in my circular garden. I like to grow those in there and have them draping over the side, and they have these pretty little, kind of like little rosette flowers. This is a double mixed color variety. So I really like growing Portulaca. Next, we're going to be doing the Platycodon Blue. It's a balloon flower. And I'm only doing a few of these because I haven't really grown these before. So I'm just going to do a few and see how they do. And you plant these 1/4 of an inch So I've already put in the divots, and I'm just putting 2 seeds in each spot. But they're super cute. I love the shape of the little cup flower that they are, so I hope they turn out. And I will just cover these up. Next I'm doing the lime. This is Avalon Lime Purple Bicolor Nicotiana. I really like the Nicotiana. It's actually referred to as the tobacco plant, and I don't understand that, because not that I really know what a lot of tobacco plants look like. These are, again, really fine seeds, super fine seeds, but again, these are not going to get covered, so I'm just going to sprinkle them over, and then I can split them up once they germinate. So I'll just spread half of them over this one cell, and I will spread the other half over this other cell. And we'll see what we get. Nicotiana, this is a perfumed deep purple. This is a variety I got from Lindenberg, and it doesn't have a picture, so I ended up cutting the picture out of my seed catalog, just so you would have an idea. These are a pelleted seed, and again, they don't need to be covered, but it makes it really easy to see the seeds. A lot easier than that purple one, or the green and the purple bicolored one. And this is another new one, and it didn't have a picture, and it's the Nicandra, and it's a blue and white, another little cute little cup flower, and I thought that might be cute around my pavers or in a hanging basket. You never know where I'm going to end up putting that. And this one is just 1/4 inch. Again, I'm going to put 2 seeds in each spot. And I have them in a tray, but they have different starting conditions. So I'm gonna be a little crafty with this. So this half of the tray over doesn't need heat, but this half of the tray over does need a heat supplement on the bottom. So I have a mat ready to go, and I'm just gonna have this half of the tray on my heat mat, and this half of the tray will not be on the heat mat because I don't have to have them in darkness. There are no other conditions that I have to follow. Once I finish planting this, then I'm going to take you over and I will show you all of the other seeds that I have started, so then you have a better idea of what flowers I have started for the 8 weeks before my last frost. And these are my stalks. So these are a giant imperial mix stalk. I love stalks. They're so pretty. These ones you don't have to cover, you just sow them on the surface. They're actually quite a large seed. So I'm just going to sprinkle them over the top. And with the stalks, they take 10 to 14 days to sprout. So I'm going to move this over onto the heat mat, and then I'll bring you over and we'll go over some of all the seeds that I have started. So I just want to show you what I've done with my stand here. I found some glass shelving that we had removed from in our living room, and it was like the perfect fit to bring these trays a little closer to the lights, and then as they grow, I can lower it down, but it worked out perfectly. And then I have 2 more glass trays, and I'm going to set them up where my peppers are, because my peppers are coming along really good, and I think I'm going to move them over to where my patio door is. So we're going to start at the beginning where I started some of my seeds. And so these first 2 here, this is the Alyssum carpet of snow, and they take, I just planted these on March the 25th. They take 10 to 14 days to sprout, and I just covered the seeds lightly. Then we have the Alyssum Royal Carpet, and they will sprout in 8 to 10 days, and I covered them as well. So half is the Carpet of Snow, and this half is the Royal Carpet. Then moving over to here, I have, this is a carnation. It is a dwarf carnation, and that was planted 1/8 of an inch deep, and they take 15 to 20 days to sprout. This first one here, this is calendula, and I always plant calendula around in my raised flower beds. That one is only planted 1/4 of an inch deep. Is the Cockscomb, and this is a, what is it, a coral mixed Cockscomb. And the Cockscomb is 1/8 of an inch deep, and it takes 8 to 15 days to sprout. Then I have the Strawflower is next, and you do not cover the seeds. So that is just sown on the surface. Next to that is the Lavatera, the Ruby Regis. This one was covered lightly, and it takes 14 to 25 days to sprout. Nemesia, and with the Nemesia, it is 1/4 of an inch deep, and it takes 8 to 14 days to sprout. These are all marigolds, and the different types of marigolds I have, this is the lemon drop marigold, and what I did was I did 9, so 6 and then 3 in the back. The next one is the petite mix. This is the Queen Sophia. This one is the crackerjack. That's the crackerjack as well. This is the Keys Orange. Then I have the Sparky Marigold, Inca Mix, and a dark red marigold in there. Then we go on to my zinnias. I have so many varieties of zinnias. So this first one, that's the Envy Zinnia. And with the Envy Zinnia, I have planted, just lightly covered them, and they take 5 to 10 days to sprout. All my zinnias take 5 to 10 days to sprout. The one in behind is the Candy Cane Zinnia. This is the Giant, the Giant Blue Point. That's a new zinnia that I've started. Cut and Come. What's this one? The Persian Carpet, State Fair, and the California Giant Double Mix on the zinnias. I'll bring you down here. I think I'm going to have to definitely move my peppers. That one is basically touching the lights now, so another reason why I need to move them. Come over here. Here we have my peppers, and they're all doing really well, coming along nicely. Verbena, not so much. These seeds here, these are the ones that my sister had saved for me. These are the Biddens. So I have biddens here and I have biddens there. In this tray, in the very back, this is eggplant, celeriac, it's coming along. This is my lemon basil, the kitchen basil, holy basil. Oregano hasn't done anything yet. Regular basil hasn't done anything yet. I got some lime basil coming up. This is the flat leaf, plain leaf parsley, the curled parsley, and then I have the bacopa. I just noticed that the blue topia is coming, and I have a little tiny sprout here in the snowtopia. Down underneath that, these are all snapdragons, and they're almost tall enough now that I can start to separate them and put them in their own individual pots. Here is my asparagus. In behind the asparagus is the geraniums. Then coming in this tray, these are all petunias. And this one on the end, this is salvia. And I think I'm going to stick some more seeds into this and reseed it because I only have one coming up. If we come down here, these are the ones that I just planted, and I said I needed half of the tray on a heat mat. So I have the Portulacas and then the Platycodon on the heat mat, whereas the Nicotiana doesn't go on the heat mat, and the Nicandra in the back, and my stalks. Over here in the back is osteospermum, and these are seeds that were collected, and they haven't started to sprout as of yet, but I do have the calibrachoa coming up. So this is the cappuccino calibrachoa. That's sprouting. This is the Bordeaux star. That has started to sprout. The pink joy is sprouting. Not the, what's this one? The bumblebee orange, that hasn't started to sprout, or the hot pink and yellow, but the sunset orange has started to sprout here as well. So super excited about that. In the back, those are my pansies in the back. Then here is Lobelia, and it's so tiny you probably can barely just see it. This is the Dusty Miller. It has a few sprouts. I may end up reseeding some of that. And then these are my lupins. And I'm really happy about that because I tried growing lupins last year and they didn't do anything. So I'm super happy about that. Down in the bottom, the very back there is rosemary. This is thyme, and I actually reseeded the thyme and the foxglove because the foxglove was growing and then it didn't do anything. I reseeded some of my leeks. I separated my celery so that it's all separate plants, my dahlia, and I reseeded some more of the shallots here in the front. Then over here were the onions, and I reseeded some Walla Wallas, Elsa Craig, more Walla Walla. These were the red Zeppelin. I reseeded those. Then I have the Frontier, and I reseeded more red onion in this back one that has Frontier seeds because the Frontier seeds didn't do as well. Then in the very back, that's my artichoke seeds. I'm not very happy with my lemongrass. I don't know if it's going to make it. I seem to have run into the same problem. I get it very little ways and then nothing happens. So here I have, this is a Starlight Rose zinnia, probably Solido zinnia. This is a Sapphire Lobelia, and it's a trailing Lobelia, and then that's a mixed colors trailing Lobelia, and then these all here are my tomato plants tomato seeds that I just started. I also wanted to show you how well my geraniums that I overwintered are doing. They are just doing amazing. So I'm super happy about that. That is the salmon. So definitely the 8-week planting of seeds is just hair straight back, lots going on. It'll kind of lessen out because then I do the 6-week planting, and that's mostly the brassicas. So I'm going to be starting a lot of brassicas this year. We will be back for that, and it's been kind of a rainy, miserable weather the last few days, so that's the perfect time to be starting seeds inside. So thanks for joining me, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.